Jeanette. I'm jogging today, and it's a really special day today because today I'm celebrating that I'm 15 years together with the love of my life, my wife Natasha. Yes, 15 years ago we said to each other, yes, so we married like 5 years now. But yes, and I was talking to you about this story, and also I told my students one time this story, and she typed on Facebook, yeah, you should tell to everyone this story because you know it's about love. It's about love, yes. So at one point when I was young, I tell you the story. At one point I was young. I felt that I graduated from art school and I felt that I really wanted a love in my life. Yes, I really wanted a relationship. So then at one point I saw the Oprah Winfrey show, and she was talking like, if you want something, then do in your life already like you have it. So if you want a relationship, then already feel like you have this relationship, already set a plate for the person or something like that, you know. And I was an artist, or I'm still an artist, but then I just graduated and I lived in a small apartment, and the whole apartment was just about working. You know, I didn't have a table to sit on just to eat. I didn't have a couch. I just had my space with all my stuff. I'm working and in a small bed. So I said, oh my God, okay, so what is it that I need? If you have a relationship, well, then you have a television and a couch. You should have a couch. Well, in that time, my whole room, my whole apartment was pink. Everything was pink. I loved pink, the color pink, like Pink Panther pink, and everything I painted pink. So everything was made of wood because then I could paint it. Also my plates, everything that you can imagine, only me. I wasn't pink, maybe from the inside, but from the outside always dressed in black like now also. So, well, so I said I need a couch, but there aren't pink couches, so I bought a wooden couch, a really small wooden couch. Normally you would put them outside and in the garden, and I also make pink cushions in it so you could sit in it. So I had a couch, and of course I was young. Every Sunday I was dancing. I danced in this club, and you know, with friends and having fun. And at some point I was with my friends in a studio where they recorded a program, like a program, and for television, and it was about dating, and this special program was for dating gay people, so also lesbians could meet up and then they would date. So I was sitting there with my friends looking, and I saw on the stage just one girl, and I said out loud, oh my God, she is amazing. I would know which one I would pick. Just I said it out loud, and my friends were like, well, okay. And in front of us were also sitting people like young girls, and they were looking up like, huh? What's going on? Now I know that they were the friends of my future wife. So, well, at that time, of course I didn't know. And then at one point I was dancing on Sunday evening, and then I saw her again. And I saw her and I said to myself, oh my God, this is the girl of my dreams. This is the love of my life. She is amazing. I don't know her, but look at her. She shines, she's bright. I love her spirit. Yes, so, well, then I went up to her and I said to her, hi, my name is Jeanette, who are you? So we started talking, but of course I was also a little bit shy, you can imagine. But before that, no, I don't tell it, that's not important. So I was also a little bit shy, and then I said, okay, we chatted a little bit and talking and all these things, and of course at one point I said, okay, I will give you my telephone number. And she was like, oh, why? You know, I said, you never know. In life, you never know. I just give you my telephone number. So I gave her my telephone number. And we danced together and have a great time. And also, she was drinking a lot and we were having fun and all these things. And at the end of the night, I said, okay, I want to go home. I'm going home. And then she said, oh, I'm joining you. Oh my God, I'm coming with you and all these things. But of course, she drank a little bit. And then I said, no, we're not going to do that, you know. We're not going to do that. We're not going to have just a one night sleep and then that's it, you know. I really want to know you. So if you also want to know me, then you can call me. Okay, so I went home. You know, I thought if we just have this one night, then it's this, yeah, you know, then it's just like that. And it felt so much deeper. It didn't feel that superficial at all. So I went home and then after a couple of weeks, she called me. And she said, oh, blah, blah, and how are you? And I said, oh, I'm okay. And ooh, she's calling me. And then she said, okay, let's meet up. I said, really good. I'd love to meet you. So I went to her place. She lived not in Amsterdam. I'm living in Amsterdam. She lived not in Amsterdam, so I had to take the train for more than an hour to go to her. But I was really, why not? I do it, you know. So I went up to her and then we were having this dinner. But oh my God, here I was with the girl of my dreams. And yeah, of course I was shy, of course. And at one point we were just eating and talking, and at one point she had to go. A friend of her called her and that he was in need, some kind of emotional need. So she said, I have to go to my friend. You stay here. So I stayed alone in her house for about an hour. I didn't know where I was, so I get stressed, you know, like, oh, what's going on? Why isn't she here? Why am I sitting here alone? Why, you know, so I sit there and I thought, oh no, you know, this is not good. This is not good. So she came back and I said, well, let's eat and then I want to go home. I don't feel at ease anymore. And she was like, what's going on? Why? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel at ease anymore. So we talked a little bit and then she brought me to the train, because the train was every hour or something, you know. So she brought me to the train and then we talked a little bit more and I did some strange things like the gymnastic poses. I don't know, you know. So that was a positive thing. I could be myself with her. I could be honest and I could be myself. And I thought that's really nice. So, but yeah, I'm not always cool. I'm also a little bit doing strange things. But in the end, she brought me to the train, and then just before the train left, we said goodbye to each other, and then we kissed. And that kiss, I still can feel it. It's magical. It was magical. And then at that point, I knew exactly, yes, she is the one. She is the one. And I just wanted to ask her, please marry me. But I know, oh my God, we just had one date and I did really strange. So I couldn't say that. But then, oh, the ride home with the kiss, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, and then after that we called again and we had this amazing date. You know, that you start just having a dinner and then you just go back to a bar to drink and to another bar and to another bar and till really late at night, till 6 in the morning, and then we said bye-bye, you know. Because I didn't know if she really liked me. I mean, she was my girl of my dreams, but I didn't know. So, and of course, I was, yeah, you have to get to know each other, you know. So, well, at the end of the date, I don't know if we kissed, I don't know, I can't remember. And then at one point, so that was the end of that date. And then after a couple of weeks we dated again. And this was really, there were the gay games, so a lot of things was happening. And I was with my friends, she was with her friends, and we were at this party. And then with my friends, you know, lesbian girls, they have drama all over. So at one point there was this big huge drama and I felt I was involved and that everything turned around, you know. And then I was with her there, but not with her. We were with these groups. And then I said, oh my God, I have to step out of this. And then I met a friend, now I know he's an angel, and he said to me, what is it that you want? And I said, I want her. So I stand up, I walk to her, I stand in front of her, and I started kissing her. And then immediately she started kissing me back, thank God. So, well, we had this amazing click then and kissing, and then I took her to my house and we spent the night together, and it was like, wow, so powerful, so magic. It really felt like, you know, it was hard making love because we were like shaking all over the place. Yes, true magic. Sorry for telling, this is maybe personal, but okay. So the next morning she had to leave, and she said she had an appointment with a friend, or yeah, she had dated before, so it could be her ex-girlfriend. She was kind of vague about it. I said, wow, yes, no problem. And she said, yeah, I don't know what to do to how do I feel. I said, yes, well, we have this magical night now. I mean, I felt really powerful. I mean, I was spending the night with my girl dream, you know, so I had all this power. I could build a house in just 1 second. So I said to her, every confrontation now, you have all this energy, you have this power. She said, yes, you're right, yes, you're right. So we were really positive, and then we said, okay, we see each other next Sunday. I will call you, I will call you. Okay, cool. So, but then after that date, she didn't call me. She didn't call me. I called her several times, but she didn't call me back. And I said, oh my God, well, maybe because of the partying going around, she doesn't have time, maybe of work. All these things come into your head, you know. I said, well, let's see what happened. And that Sunday, I went to the place to dance, because every Sunday night I was dancing with my friends. So also this Sunday night, I went there with my friends to party, and then I came into the party room to the disco, and there she was, but she wasn't alone. She was there with another girl, and I immediately saw that they were dancing together, you know, that they were having some kind of thing going on. So my heart just immediately broke, like, what's going on? Oh, that's the girl, that's the ex-girlfriend. Is that an ex-girlfriend? So I stood there, you know, and I thought, now I have to really objective. I don't have to dive into the drama, you know. She's the girl of my dreams, the love of my life. She still is. She still is. So now, and my heart is broken. So I have to heal myself. I'm responsible for my own broken heart. En I have to... Hi! I'm een filmpje maken. Nee, dankjewel. Okay, hi. So I just see her now, a friend of mine, he's walking by. Yeah, we talk to each other all the time here while jogging. So, and he sees me here standing this film. So, okay, so I was standing there, broken-hearted. But I thought, I have to be objective. So I just went up them and I said hi, and I introduced myself to that girl, and then I stepped back to my friends and started dancing, and then I just be really objective, look at them. I just looked at them and I thought, do I see that they belong together? Do I see really love? Because if they really love each other, then I let them free, you know. It's not my place to interrupt that, because this is the love of my life. I wish the best for her. So if this girl is the best for her, then she's not the best for me, you know? Or then I'm not the best for her, I mean. So I have to be objective. I just have to look now at her, at the both of, and then I saw, okay, this is not really the love of her life. No. Okay, cool. Let's be cool about it. This is her path. This is what she has to do. This is her life. I feel love for her. I do. I still feel. So I went home with a broken heart, and then she called me and she wanted to be talk about it, and I said no, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want drama. You do what you do, I do what I do. You know, we just dated. I like you a lot. That's it, you know. And then she called me again and said, "Okay, let's go out and see if we just can be friends." So we went out, but of course I couldn't just be friends. You know, I wanted to touch her all the time, and you can't touch friends all the time. So it was really for me a fucked up date, I would say. And then at one point she called me again, and I said, "No, I can't just be friends. I can't, you know. For me, it's like this. If you want to see me, then see me. But if you don't want more than that, then it's not gonna work for me, because I find you too attractive." Yes. So, and then of course that was after 2 months, and then I went out again. Yes. And then at one point I went out, and then I stepped into her friends. She wasn't there, but her friends were there. And then one girl came up to me, one friend came up to me, and she said, "What are you doing?" She was really, yeah, mad or something. "What are you doing to Natasha? What are you doing? She's my friend too, and I don't know what's going on, but she is hurt or something. So if you hurt her, you get in touch with me." So, and I was like, oh wow, what's going on, you know? Why is she so aggressive to me? And then I realized, oh my God, this is an angel. Because that means that after these months, Natasha is still talking to her friends about me. I'm still part of her life. So, and I still remember I went home and I was biking, and I was, oh my God, I'm still in her life. Maybe not that I see her, but in her mind, in her spirit, I'm still in there. So that gave me really hope. And then a couple of months, that was after 3 months, I started seeing other girls again, you know, why not? But just beautiful girls. And because I already felt that I knew the girl of my dreams, my dream girl, you know, I was brave enough to stand up to go to talk to really beautiful girls. So, because yeah, you know, so I just had this date with a model, beautiful girl, really beautiful. And a half hour before I had to go, Natasha, my wife now, she called me and she said, "How are you doing?" And I was laughing out loud so really hard, because I said, oh my God, I just have a date in a half an hour, and now you're calling me, you know? And she said, "Oh, I just wanted to know, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, I'm doing fine, you know. Yeah, can we be friends?" And I said again, "No, we can't be friends, you know. I like you too much for that." Yes, I was really open about it. If you call me again, you know, then you're free. Then you're also interested in me, you know, to see, just to see if something's gonna work. Not that do it together, but just if to see that we're both free to find out what it is, that it is between us, you know? Because I didn't know if a relationship, that's a whole different thing. If a relationship works, no. First find out if you have this magic together. And then after 4 months, she called and she said, "Is it okay if I come by?" And I said, "Okay." But now I knew, oh my God, she's coming by, so that means something. So, and I still remember that day, and it was the 10th of December, 15 years ago. And before she came, I was sitting in my bath, just, you know, taking a bath, relaxing. Hopefully I was relaxing, and then I have to dress myself, and then one point, you know, the doorbell rang, and I ran down, and there she was standing. But because I was so nervous, my whole outfit, my blouse was like this, and my skirt was like this. I still remember that half my blouse was like this, so my boobs was half falling out and all these things. So I wasn't really cool, but okay. So we came up, and I said, "Okay." And I said, "How you doing?" And she said, "I just broke up." And I said, "Oh, that's how do you feel? Yeah, she said, relieved. And I said, oh, good. Well, what is it that you like to drink? Because now I knew she was free, she was smiling, me too. So I sat on the couch, I made myself pink with the cushions. We were sitting there together, and she said, is it okay if I take my shoes off? And I thought, wow, this is also a magical sign, because if somebody else take off the shoe in a house, then you feel at ease or something, you know. So yes, so we had our glasses, and I said, how do you feel? And then she said, a little bit mixed, because I really like to do something. And I said, oh yes, what is it? She said, I like to kiss you. And I said, oh, wow, that's no problem. I put down my glass, and then we kissed. And then we had magic, and then all night. And I asked her, do you like to have together? In Dutch we call it verkering. I don't know the English. Study, or I don't know how it's called, but that you are together. Yes, well, that was 15 years ago. So do I believe in real love? Yes. What is it that I had to go through? 4 months of waiting, being patient. Yes, patience, that real love comes together. And although I wasn't with her at that time, I felt the real love. So for everyone can feel real love. Everyone. Yes. Maybe you're not together, but you can feel it. Yes. I'm thankful that I'm together with the love of my life. Yes, it's a long story. I have to go now. Yes, thank you for watching. Bye bye.